Hello and welcome to the Nintendo Pipeline Podcast. I'm your host this week, One Up Muffin, also known as Jared, and with me today is...
Hi, I'm CMM.
Howdy, partner.
God.
James.
Howdy there, partner.
God.
Hey there.
Hey there, feller.
We'll get to that later, though. That's James that was talking, by the way. I'm sure you knew that.
I think
Probably
I said
isn't
it.
your
Did I
first
not say it?
I don't know. You might have. I'm here. So yesterday we were blessed by Miyamoto-san with the second Super Mario Brothers movie trailer. It introduced to us two new characters. Princess Peach, played by the chess girl, and Donkey Kong, played by the weed guy.
Yep.
What did you guys think of the trailer?
I liked it. I enjoy that they are putting in a lot of different sort of things across Mario Universe, especially what they did with the Donkey Kong stuff. They have, Cranky in there, but they also have Dixie, Diddy. It looks like Kitty might be there. Swanky's in there. Like, there's some fun stuff. I still think that Chris Pratt kind of just sucks, but like, he's not like, it's not to the point where it's like distractingly bad. It's just kind of like, whatever.
He's not going to ruin the movie, but it's a shame that he's going to be in like 5 of these.
Yeah, he's not going to ruin the movie, but like everyone else is like doing like basically like racing around him in terms of like the quality of their work.
And he means the other localizations.
What's funny is I don't even believe that. I think Luigi's pretty good. Peach is fine. The only real standouts to me are Bowser and Toad.
Bowser and Toad are the
best.
Who are definitely running circles around Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
But I don't dislike Peach or Luigi.
I think Peach and Luigi are fine.
They just don't sound like Peach and Luigi to me.
Yeah.
What's his name? Not Jordan Peele. The
Keegan
other
Michael
guy.
Key.
Keegan-Michael Key and Jack Black are really chewing the scenery.
Yeah.
They're really getting the most out of those characters.
They're doing more than just their literal normal voices.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's because Jack Black's a voice actor, on top of his other stuff.
I'm not familiar with Anya and like what her normal voice sounds like versus like Peach and everything, but like definitely not who
it sounds like her. I mean, like that's not bad. I don't think that's a bad thing. She sounds fine as Peach.
Like it's definitely not like I wouldn't, because I'm not familiar with her, so I obviously wouldn't be like, that should be Peach. But listening to her, I wasn't particularly like, oh, like this doesn't fit, or like, oh, she's not good at this or whatever. Like she seemed, I kind of I appreciate the spin that they're putting on for Peach for this movie, even if I think the voice is a little weird. Same with Luigi. Did we hear Seth Rogen talk? We didn't, did we?
No, he didn't say anything, which is so weird because they interviewed him.
Yeah,
he didn't say anything.
He was in the pre-show thing, like, "Oh, I named my dog Zelda." I was like, "Oh, you're a nerd. You smoke weed."
He said play choice 10.
Yeah, he said play choice 10. I was like, "Whoa, there, partner. Is that allowed? Is that allowed to be said?" It was definitely better than stomping Koopas.
I like the amount of
game that you can't stomp Koopas in.
Yeah,
I like the amount of fan service. In like the trailer, there's like the 1-1 level, or like the course Mario. Peach has her like Wii Mario Kart outfit.
Yeah, she got the biker outfit going on,
yeah,
which is cool.
Well, do you count that as fan service, or just like?
I just say like references to other stuff.
Normal things that would be in the movie if they're doing their due diligence.
No, you're right. Like it shows that they like are paying attention.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's good to see. The thing that really got me was the cheap bridge.
The cheap bridge thing was good.
Cheap bridge.
The what do you call it? Brain stopped.
Rainbow Road?
No, not Rainbow Road. Although the Mario Kart sequence looks very fun.
Oh, I like the Donkey Kong Arena that has like
Yeah,
the girders. That's a good.
yeah. Swanky was a surprise to me. I was not expecting to see Swanky.
Yeah, was he in the trailer or was he just on the poster?
I don't even know, to be honest with
I've
you.
only seen I only saw Swanky Kitty, or not Kitty, Diddy and Dixie on the poster.
Yeah, I think that's where the image I saw them, or where I saw them.
Oh, Diddy was on the poster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure Nathan, our friend Nathan Little, is very happy about that.
Did you guys see they dropped a couple commercials today that had a little extra footage?
No, I didn't see those yet.
Nothing too crazy, but they have the clear pipes from 3D World and
that's cute.
a little bit more of Keegan Allen, or Keegan Michael Key, not Allen.
And he's gonna sing. We're gonna get a song.
There was that other Toad in the trailer that had a different voice. I don't know who that was. The non-Keegan Michael Key Toad. I think it was Yellow Toad.
Oh, the one that was like, "But we're so cute."
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, classic line.
Which was like the low point of the trailer.
Yeah.
That's where it seemed just like an Illumination movie.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely gonna be the Illumination stuff, but it looks good overall.
They had one of those.
It looks
kind of moments in that new the new footage from the commercial spot today too, and I'm like, it's whatever. Like, who cares? I just think
it looks like it'll be entertaining for kids and adults.
Well, I think adults or like fans of Mario will have plenty to like see and enjoy. Like I know we got a glimpse of like Pauline, what looks like Pauline, in the background. I know someone else identified. They think that it's Stanley the Bugman. So I think like adults and people who really are into Mario will find lots of little things and touches that they'll enjoy.
Well, I mean, even past that, I think Jack Black just seems funny in it.
Yeah, and even beyond that stuff, I think the movie will be an enjoyable romp for most people. I don't think it'll be like, it's not going to be the second coming of Christ, but
I think it's going to be the best movie ever made. Actually, like, I'm gonna kind of be on the opposite of this spectrum.
I think it looks nice. I think it looks nice in motion. The movie
beautiful.
The movie looks much better in motion. Like Peach in stills looks weird, but in motion, I think she looks fine.
I agree. Same with Mario.
I know, James, I think it was you who kind of felt that Mario still looked weird in the face.
But I think it looks better in motion.
I thought Peach looked weird in the face, but I do agree it looks better when she's moving.
Yeah, they put out some of the posters that were not. I don't know if the posters were leaked. I know there was other assets that were leaked, but they put out the posters after the little mini direct. Donkey Kong has a new design, which I think is interesting. I don't hate it. I think it's fine.
It looks like Donkey Kong like arcade more than Rare.
It looks like Rare Donkey Kong mixed with DK64 or DK94 Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I agree.
But I don't dislike it.
No.
Yeah.
The only thing, it's so close to the Rare Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
But not that it's like kind of got that uncanny valley effect to it.
I mean, that's kind of how everything is in the movie, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
like Mario's close to Mario, but not quite. Peach is close to Peach, but not quite. Even Bowser, I think, is kind of like that. And I think he looks fine, but a lot of the characters in this are kind of like that. But I don't think they're bad.
Bowser looks like Jack Black.
Yeah,
to me.
That kind of does look like Jack.
Like there's something about his face that gives me Jack Black. Like I wonder if they rigged Jack Black's face for motion capture or something.
Yeah, I kind of wonder the same thing too. They showed that, what was it, like the surrounding islands or kingdoms or whatever.
Yeah, it was like a world map basically.
Yeah, and there was one that was already torched, which I think is the penguin one. I know someone thought, I think it was Cosmic, the Mario Bros. Speedrunner, thought that maybe the desert area was Sarasaland, but I think that's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
It looks like it.
It would be fun. I didn't look at it close enough. If there's like a Moe head there too, then I would say sure. Maybe. I saw the pyramid.
I saw like the battle map, because that's like what it looked like. It looked like they were in like a war room.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I saw them like is people like, because one of them looked like Yoshi's, kind of like Yoshi's Island from Super Nintendo.
One of them's definitely.
I wish I could find it. There's no way I'm gonna be able to find it. It was a random ass Twitter post, but like, people put a picture of Sarasaland, like from old promo art for Mario 2 or Mario Land 2, next to it, and it did look pretty similar.
I hope
the same way that the Yoshi's Island looks pretty similar to the Yoshi Island map screen from Yoshi's Island.
I would be absolutely delighted if we got that.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be awesome.
That would be fun.
I would rather die than see Daisy in this movie.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for
it.
I don't want Daisy fans to be happy in general.
Actually, here I posted a little behind the scenes in the Discord chat.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I managed to find it by typing Sarasaland into
What's
Twitter.
The one in the middle?
I can't believe it.
That's
DK Island.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. The oh yeah, you're right. It does kind of have some of that going on with the art from Land 1.
I think some of the just the landscape footage in the trailer just looks kind of beautiful, and like it makes me be like one of those damn, what if Mario in 4K?
See, what's funny is before we started seeing what the movie looked like, I had this kind of thought in the back of my head of oh god, what if it looks like fucking Nintendo hire this man ass shit?
Yeah.
But it super doesn't.
It does kind of look like Ratchet and Clank though,
the scene where he walks into the castle and the stained glass Peach is there.
Yeah.
That is so hot, dude. I can't believe it. The movie looks a lot better than
it looks really good
than any Minions stuff I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Nintendo's clearly pumping some.
They're putting a lot of money into this.
I mean, I don't think it's I don't think people kind of often forget, but Chris San, is one of the only outside board of directors that they have. So it's obvious that they're highly invested into this and into whatever other visual content might come. But this is the big budget premiere. This ain't no Pikmin shorts. I mean, which those are fine, but you know what I mean. It's obviously on another level.
They're planning on this being another pillar of their business.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, I just mean the movie in particular is sort of the premiere, sort of spectacle of it. It looks very nice in motion. I think it's very nicely animated. I know when people started talking about this movie, they were like, "Oh, it's just going to be Mario Minions or whatever." But I've personally never believed that Nintendo weren't going to very strongly steer that ship.
It looks like its own thing, even if it has those Illumination vibes too.
Yeah.
I don't think it has many Illumination vibes, and that's why I'm so on
just
board.
What we were talking about, the few cutesy bits, but that's any kid's movie.
Yeah.
I've also never seen an Illumination movie, so take that at the grain of salt.
I just assume they're like the Facebook memes that your mom posts.
God, I hate those so much.
They're I love those.
I hate them. Every time I see one, I think I lose a couple of years off my life. So it's been nice knowing you. But there's another rumor today that was saying that it might be available. I don't know if it was Grub. I forgot who reported it, but there's a rumor that
Jeff Gerstmann.
Oh, it might have been Gerstmann. I get my Jeffs mixed up.
Yeah, never confuse them again.
Yeah, well, so long as I don't confuse them with Jeff Keighley, it's fine. There's the rumor that it's going to be available for purchase possibly as early as May 11th, which is cool. Obviously, we are still in the middle of a pandemic and there's a lot of factors going on, so it is nice to at least see that it's going to be in theaters for a bit, but not having to wait too long.
We're all going to see this in theaters though, right? Come on.
I don't know, man. I live in Florida, dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I don't know if I'm going to do it. I know it's releasing in other areas a month before the US and Japan, which is kind of interesting.
I would love to see it in theaters, but
Yeah.
that's a real grim place to
Double mask up.
Yeah. I saw Sonic 1 and 2 in theaters, so I feel like I have to see this in
Yeah,
theaters.
I'm gonna go at an
But
off hour.
yeah,
Mask
if I
up
were to
for the
go,
week.
it'll be with friends at like some weird off hour. Um, but I'm hoping they do some kind of like, hey, if you go and check in or whatever with your My Nintendo or whatever, you'll get points or something. But we'll
Yeah,
see.
they'll give you a demo of Super Mario Brothers the movie, the game, which is a Switch Pro, a Drake exclusive.
They'll give you a keychain of Chris Pratt as Mario. Yeah. But yeah, I think it still looks good, and I think it's really funny that it didn't premiere at the Game Awards. That's the other thing.
James, any last thoughts on Mario before we get into the meat of this podcast?
it was really cool that they had Peach's fire dress from 3D World.
Oh yes,
yeah. I like Fire Peach. That's cool.
That was the other thing. I'm not that I wasn't expecting it, but it was nice to see Tanuki Suit and Fire Flowers and other power ups are kind of like going to show up. So hopefully we get Frog Mario. At some
I guess
point.
I love Frog Mario.
I would also say that it's cool that they didn't make Peach they didn't make the story like Peach is stolen.
Yeah, or at least not in the beginning.
Honestly, there was no way they would have done that.
They didn't do the whole girl got took thing. No. They actually kind of made Bowser more of a threat.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like the movie is more going to be about and it seems like Mario kind of shit.
Yeah.
It seems more like he's the central character, but it seems more like the whole idea of the movie is built more around them rallying.
Yeah.
It's like the Mario origin story, so he has to suck at first, and then he's going to be amazing by the end of the movie.
Well, it leans into the original Mario Bros. Like Stranger in a Strange Land, Alice in Wonderland sort of thing, where it's like, he comes from a place that's not there, and there's that. So I enjoy that take on it. I could still see them doing an 11th hour kidnapping of Peach just for the finale or whatever, but it's nice that she seems to at least be in a significant chunk of it being useful. What, she got a freaking battle axe? in that one shot. It was like a halberd, yeah. In that one shot,
with a mushroom, like a steel mushroom on it below the blade. It looked dope as hell.
Yeah,
but yeah, to me it seems more like the movie is going to be about going to the different parts of the world and rallying that area's inhabitants so they can wage a war against Bowser, because the first trailer had the fight with the penguins fighting the Koopas separately.
Right.
And to me, it seems like the whole fight with Donkey Kong doesn't seem like an actual adversarial thing.
No, that looks.
It seems it seems like it's a competition or we need to we're gonna put your guy against our guy, and if you prove that you're worthy, then we'll help you fight that.
Yeah, it's like how he failed with that, and he failed at the platforming challenge later.
Yeah, I think it leans a bit into Mario 3, where Bowser is less about he kidnapped Peach, and is more I'm conquering all these kingdoms that are part of, in that game it's all the different kingdoms of the Mushroom Kingdom, but in the movie, it's Yoshi's Island or DK Island or Sarasa Land or whatever. So I like that they're leaning into that. That's the Bowser that I personally prefer, as opposed to Funny Man kidnaps Silly Princess again.
I mean, he did super kidnap her in 3 also.
He did at the end. He super kidnaps her, but it was the side event.
In 3?
In 3, he doesn't kidnap kidnap her until I thought he kidnapped her right before Darkland.
She's writing you notes the entire time, from captivity.
Maybe that's
I think you're playing a different game.
I don't remember why. So maybe there's something that happens when you get to Darkland that I don't remember in terms of the letters. Something with the letter changes.
More importantly, though.
Yeah. Horse
Super
testicles.
Mario Bros. Trailer, pretty good. You know what else is pretty good?
The horse testicles.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Right, the horse testicles.
The second part of this podcast is about what we're playing recently.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start
by
talking about Cowboys. I bought this game at launch, and then I got distracted by Super Smash Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So I put the game down for about 4 years.
Did that game come out around the time Ultimate came out?
That's
can't
what
even-
James
Yeah,
said,
like-
and I believed him.
I can't even
like
remember.
2 or 3 weeks before.
Huh.
So I got back to it, and it's fantastic, beautiful open world, one of the prettiest games I've played. Great story. I like just wandering around, saying howdy to everybody.
Is there a button that you can push that just
There
makes
is
him say
literally a
howdy?
button that says howdy.
That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
It's
Yeah.
like you get to like greet everybody you see, and he's like, "Hey there."
Please
Hey,
tell me
miss.
he like tips the cowboy hat.
No tipping the cowboy hat, but basically like in
Yeah.
words,
Yeah.
like "Good day we're having, ain't it?"
Yeah. I wanted to
just-
go around miladying everyone.
Like he says like "ma'am," hello, ma'am. Afternoon,
Also,
ma'am.
like doing it builds rapport. Like,
Yeah,
like
you get
actual-
positive
There's a
cowboy
function.
points.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
you get positive cowboy points. People will like you more,
Yeah,
and they'll
I'm
like
trying to
you
be the
less if
goodest
you-
of good cowboys.
and they'll like you less if you run them down with your horse. You know how
Yeah,
it
you-
goes.
Yeah.
You can also just like antagonize them too and be like,
Well,
"You
some
look
people,
mighty silly there,"
some
and they'll
people,
be like, "What are you doing to me?"
some people might be into the whole getting run down by a horse thing, but that's another topic.
Oh yeah, okay. I forgot there's also an insult, like a heckle button. Which
yeah,
is
there's
Oh.
an
pretty funny.
antagonize.
Oh, that's my
It's
button.
very good.
I would use that.
Yeah, you can like call someone over and be like,
You're a bitch.
"What are you doing?"
Your
And they'll be like-
mother looks like a horse.
And they'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir," and you'll be like, and you can like apologize. There's literally an apologize button after you insult them.
Jesus.
Or,
And you
or
could
you
say-
can double down.
Yeah, or it's like, "I'm just messing with you." I'm
I'm
just messing.
JK, LOL.
Oh man.
RDR2 rules, honestly. Like
awesome.
I know that it was made with like under really bad circumstances.
But they made
and-
one of the coolest games ever made.
Yeah, they super
They-
did.
They made an accomplishment that has not been rivaled yet in terms of like scale. Like I
Not
don't think
just- it's not just scale. It's
it's
like
breadth and depth. It's both.
and believability and
Yeah.
like it's so much more of an RPG than like
than
most
most
RPGs are.
Just wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like it's borderline like it's almost like what you would the like ideal of a Elder Scrolls game, you know, of like this living breathing world full of weird interesting stuff to do.
Yeah. Fun characters. It's not just like a super serious like every mission is like depressing. It's got like a lot of levity. The characters are funny.
And like eccentric in fun ways.
Hmm.
Like Dutch is a crazy person.
Yeah.
And did you play the first one?
Oh yeah, I love Red Dead Redemption.
It's really cool seeing like John Marston's life before
Mhm.
what happened in Red Dead 2 or sorry,
Yeah.
Red Dead 1.
Oh,
But
right. It's a
specifically
prequel.
not through his eyes.
Yeah.
Like you
I think
you
it's
see
good. I
Jo-
think it's really good you're not playing as him. At least,
Yeah, you see-
I know there's like spoilers.
Oh, you know the epilogue stuff.
I
Okay.
I figured it out because there's menu options that say like
Oh,
outfits for this
oh,
person. I'm like, oh, why would they have outfits for that person?
Oh, okay.
I'm not playing as them.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really good. The ending, like I think it sticks the landing on the ending. It hit real hard for me.
Mm.
And the final song is like final song that plays over the last boss fight is like amazing.
I'm excited.
Like they nailed it. I remember RDR2. I think it won a Keeley for music.
I love that we just call them Keeleys now.
And
Keeleys,
people were
yeah.
really mad about it, but it was like you
Mhm.
could tell it was people that had never played the game.
Yeah.
Because if you've played the game and heard the music, you would know that it deserved it.
I think like even like the only game like recently that's like not even close at all, but like that was trying to be close was like a Cyberpunk, but it just feels so much less alive than like a Red Dead and so
And-
much less lived in.
In my brain, you were going to say Sonic Frontiers. I wanted it so bad.
Yeah, Sonic Frontiers is a lot like Red Dead Redemption 2. If you
Yeah,
think
that-
about it, they both have fishing.
They both have boost mode.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, I'm like whatever, like 30 hours in, and I'm still like, there's still like so much of the map I haven't seen yet. And like, I just drove to a new town the other day, and it was unique
And
and wonderful.
they're just like, there's so many little things, and like I don't mean that in the like, haha, they made the horse balls shrink in the snow. Like there is a lot of like that attention to detail, but like I always go back to like Arthur like keeps notes and draws little pictures in a journal.
Yeah.
And you never have to look at that ever. But if you do, like the insight it gives you into like the way they want you to view Arthur as a character is really cool and really good. And like people can, talk for days about how it apes, cinema or whatever and the westerns that came before it, but it does it in a really compelling way.
Yeah. And even small stuff like his beard growing is like stuff like something like Fable like was like trying to like promise of like you're living this life, but this game like does it better.
You feel like you're living that cowboy life, legitimately, for all the ups and downs of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. The game is just really, really, really good. It baffles me that there are people that play it and don't get anything out of it. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, like I know the big complaint is like it's stiff and slow, but like you get over that so quickly. I think,
I don't think it's that big of a problem.
No, I don't think so either. Like after the first couple hours, and
I understand the complaint that like there is some what do you call it? Like momentum, like inertia to the way that the character moves. Like, yeah, you'll push the stick forward and he kind of takes a second before it like goes, It's not like Bayonetta or something where you hit the control stick forward and she starts running. But it's like it's not supposed to be that.
No, it's not.
You're supposed to feel like the weight of the character. I don't know. It worked for me. I guess I understand why. Yeah. It works for me a lot better in Red Dead than it does in GTA, for sure.
I mean, because the Red Dead games are just like 20 times better than GTA has ever been.
Well, yeah.
In general, but go on.
Especially like new GTA, like 4 and 5 are kind of whatever. 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's say more 3, Vice City and San Andreas were kind of a different thing.
Yeah,
very good for what they were. But Red Dead is like Red Dead's just something else, and it's also interesting. Like, there aren't a lot of cowboy games.
No, there aren't, and there's none on that scale.
And most of them aren't very good. The ones that do exist, like the original Red Dead Revolver, isn't even very good.
Yeah,
and neither is Gun. Gun wasn't very good.
Oh, right, Gun.
I played a little bit of that new Call of Juarez on the Switch, and that seemed pretty fun, actually.
You should just call it Call of Juarez.
Call of Juarez?
Yeah, okay, good.
Sorry.
Yeah. I was gonna say the Spanish speakers are gonna come for you.
Like, bruh.
Call of Juarez.
Call of Juarez.
I played some Call of Juarez after eating some jalapenos.
I think it's so funny how the people in Red Dead like all say like Saint Denis, which is like stuff like the most French name ever. Like they say it correctly. I feel like if you were a cowboy, you'd say Saint Denis. But that's just
maybe, perhaps.
I'm going over to Saint Denis, but everybody said things exactly right.
Anyways, I appreciate that the game lets you like you can stumble upon a bunch of fucking ghost hood ass KKK members in the woods and just like mow them down, tie them up.
Oh, that's great.
Set them on fire.
Stuff like that. I just camped. I did a camp yesterday. I was like setting up camp, and then like these hillbilly guys like put like a gun to my head and were like, "This is a warning. Like, don't camp at our land." And I was like, "You don't tell me what to do." And I was like, "Bang, bang, bang! I'm a cowboy."
This is Arthur Morgan kind of. I've got magic Deadeye abilities, dumbass. My only problem with Red Dead Redemption 2, I think, legitimately, is how often they say feller. So, dude, it's almost off-putting how often they use it.
I love all the cowboy terms, and
I like most of them, but they use feller a lot.
Yeah.
Do you remember the hillbilly, the incest house?
Yes.
Yes, that's my favorite part.
Have you? Oh man, that house is messed up. dude.
Yeah, I did I ran into it organically.
Yeah, I
I
did
didn't know about
too.
it beforehand.
Oh wait, they're also the Cannibal House, right?
Oh, it's double, 2 for 1?
I
I
don't
can't remember. I remember
No.
both of those things, but I can't remember if they were separate or not.
They're murderers, but I don't think they were cannibals.
Sad.
Okay, there's
I could be
definitely a
wrong.
there was definitely a Cannibal House
There
too.
probably is. Those
Have you run into anything particularly strange?
I met a guy who made a robot.
No, I mean like something that maybe shouldn't be there at all.
And no. No.
Okay, I'll not. You might find it, you might not. I
Okay.
organically found it, and I kind of like I was watching my roommate play it back when I still lived with him, and I was like I kind of like steered him in the direction to find it, and it's a pretty good little surprise if you do stumble on it.
Amazing game. That's what I brought for show and tell this week. I will pass the speaking stick to the next person. Pass the show and tell stick.
Sure. So I've been playing a lot of different stuff recently, actually, more so than I usually do.
Pick some of your favorites.
And the big one is, since everyone hears me talk about it all the time, my Mega Drive Mini 2 showed up.
Oh shit! Awesome.
Yes. And so it is super freaking cool. I've been playing a bunch of games on there. I guess there's a couple I want to mention. I booted it up, and the first thing I did was play Sylpheed, because I do own Sylpheed on Sega CD. So
what's Sylphy? I'm gonna look this up.
Sylpheed is by Game Arts. It is a ship shooter. Sylpheed. It is a shooter with 3D backgrounds that sometimes interact with the foreground. It's a fairly simple shooter, but it's kind of like one of those like Sega CD games that it's like if you think of games that are on the Sega CD, that's one of them. And I do have that. Like I have played that on hardware before, so I booted it up to see how it would be in the Mini, and yeah, I mean it's pretty spot on from what I can tell. They did a very good job with the Sega CD emulation down to like loading times and everything.
I presume it's M2 again.
It is, yeah.
And they do a great job.
This time there are around 60 games, and there
Jesus.
are.
Yeah, they went hard.
And in that 60 games, I think 10 of them are special bonus games that are either new ports or previously unreleased stuff. One of those is a new version of Space Harrier 2. So, Space Harrier is probably one of my favorite shooters of all time. I love Space Harrier, can't get enough of Space Harrier. The arcade version of Space Harrier has been ported plenty of times by M2, and it's great. Space Harrier 2 is a Genesis Mega Drive only sequel. It never had an arcade release, and for the longest time I've wanted them to get the chance to like remake it for arcade. What they've done here is basically they kind of like with the 3D classics on 3DS, where they made like a version of the Genesis hardware that would display in 3D. They created a version of the Genesis hardware here that is if the Sega Genesis had sprite scaling, because one of the big things that, you know, Super Nintendo, you see a lot of sprite scaling, and that's not something that Genesis can really do. So they made a version of the Genesis that can, and basically made a new port of Space Harrier 2 for that system. And the result is amazing. If you just look at like the original footage of the regular version of Space Harrier 2, and how like quickly it how it chugs and kind of doesn't really run great, and then you look at the version that they've made for the Mini 2, it is like so close to feeling like arcade. It's absolutely phenomenal. They also ported Space Harrier 1 to Genesis with the same thing, because that also never got a Genesis version. Really the only thing that kind of turns up when you're playing Space Harrier 2 on there is some sprite flicker. and Space Harrier 1 is a lot more sprite flickery because 2 was kind of made with the limitations in mind in terms of enemy patterns.
Yeah, because it wasn't an arcade port.
Right. So like they kept the enemy patterns and everything the same from the arcade for this version. So there's more flickering. But it plays so damn good. Like it's so much fun. They had the soundtrack kind of redone a bit. And something that's nice with all the new games that they've included and the new ports is that all of them have like built-in sound tests, which is awesome because they all have new sound work. Built-in option menus, all that fun stuff. So besides Space Harrier 2, there's a bunch of games that are on there. I got the Japanese one because I thought the lineup was more interesting. The West there's a lot of games that are shared between the two. But the Western versions got stuff like Sonic 3D Blast or Vector Man 2 or
those are all fantastic games.
Which are fine, yeah. But I own those and I've had them on multiple collections. I'm good. So the Japanese version has some really weird ones. And I'm talking like licensed anime games like that you would never think would get re-released. Like they have the Sega CD version of Captain Tsubasa with like the original anime voice actors. Obviously can't really play that one because it's text-based, but there is one on there that's by Game Freak. It is called, I believe it's called Magical Taroruto-kun. It is a platformer based on an anime. And it's a very fun, weird ass game. You're like this little like witch, and you can turn like background objects into like grabbable projectiles that like grow faces. It's very weird. You get like magic. You can kind of glide. Like it's a very strange and kind of like mechanically very like, if you were to, not to compare it to Castlevania 1, but it is a mechanically specific game, I guess, if that makes sense. Like it's a deliberate sort of game. It has its own feel that you kind of have to get used to. But really neat game, especially if you like, Game Freak and like seeing some of their non-Pokemon stuff. Spend a lot of time with that.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, they do some neat stuff sometimes on the side, and this one isn't like, I'm not gonna say it's great, but it is good and it's very charming.
I'm looking at it and it's got okay, well, first of all, I have a long play on in the other screen, but it had a door that looked like a Doki Doki Panic door.
Yeah,
like the way you hit the thing and it opens its mouth and you go through it and then it closes.
There's like,
but then she walked into a room and there was a hot lady. Wearing a short dress.
Yep. There's a lot of weird stuff like that. There's a track in the game, so that kind of sounds like has like a little bit of the Pokemon Center theme in it, which I thought was weird.
That's cool.
I don't know when they were released apart, but like there's a little bit of that motif in there, which I thought was fun.
Probably pretty close. A couple years.
Probably within I mean, well, Genesis stuff, I want to say it was probably like 94. Pokemon hit like 96, 98, depending on territory.
Can you still buy the Japanese Genesis Mini?
So they did I know they did a like another print of the...
No, the second one. Sorry, not the first one.
Yeah, I know they did a reprint of the Western Genesis Mini 2, like a reprint of that recently, but I don't know if the JP one is back in circulation or not. They kind of were clear from the beginning that like they were kind of limited on what they could produce this time. So they were kind of like, yeah, if you want this, just you should get it immediately, essentially, and they were not lying.
That's unfortunate.
But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff on there. I don't want to like go on too much, but like
this is crazy actually.
The whole system is very much like, if the Genesis one is kind of like a tour of like the Genesis greatest hits, this one is more like a tour of like the weird shit, like the weird niche stuff that made it. Like they have like the Fatal Fury 2 Genesis in there because it infamously has this like mode that you can turn on that makes it even like just completely fucks the character balance and just turns it into something crazy. They've got this sumo wrestling game on the Japanese version that is known in Japan for being crap. And it was just so memorable for a lot of people, so they licensed it. A lot of weird stuff like that. So it's like if you have played a lot of the usual suspects in the Genesis library and you're looking for something more eclectic, either one I think is pretty good. I mean, plus they have stuff like Robo Alest on there. The CD versions of Echo the Dolphin. Night Trap is there if you want to torture yourself. And if you, depending on the games that are included, if there's a game on the model that features an English version, or a Japanese version, or whatever version, it will be included on there. The only exception are the Lunar games because of the whole like Victor Island Ireland thing. There's some weird license holdup shit with Lunar in the US, unfortunately. But like you can play like, you know, Sonic CD even lets you play the European version at 50 hertz if you want to. And like Robo OS lets you like choose between the JP and English version. So there's a lot of different versions, and it's neat. And if you go to the credits, depending on your settings, you get the Sega CD BIOS screen with the music. So like you can set if you want it to emulate Genesis 1 or Genesis Model 2 sound.
Oh wait, did they make the Mini 2 look like the Model 2?
They did.
Funny.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that now. That's very funny.
Man,
Yeah,
now
there's like
the Japanese version of this.
There's a cart slot in there. They full on made like a mini Tower of Power for the Mini 2. It's just plastic pieces. Like there's a Sega CD. There's, you know, they made the little like plate that you need to connect like the Model 1 to a Model 2 Sega CD. There's like the expansion port opens on the side. Like, you know, they kind of went all in. I heard if you open the plastic Sega CD that they're selling, which is functionally doesn't do anything. It's just aesthetic. But if you open it up, there is a printed circuit board that it matches the original circuit board. So like it's a lot of attention to detail. It comes with the 6-button controllers in the West this time, which is nice. And yeah, I mean, they just kind of like iterated on the original and kind of improved it in a lot of ways and really went in on a lot of the bonus content. Like besides Space Harrier, there's some first-time Sega arcade ports. There's some unreleased stuff, including a game that was made by Iizuka of Sonic Team. You know, some games have optional like you can run the game faster. You know, there's a lot of settings and options and like neat inclusions that I think are very fun. So that's been kind of occupying most of my time, like in between going back and forth between playtesting. I'll be like, okay, it's time for, you know, it's Sega time now, and get to mess around with the different games on there. There's just so many that, like, who has the time, you know?
Is there any crossover with the first one?
The only crossover that I'm aware of is that they included Alien Soldier was only in the Asian version last time. This time they've included Alien Soldier again in the Western versions. And I think there may be something like that with Rystar as well in the Western version. I don't totally remember. I know Rystar is exclusive to the Western version. But basically, there's like 30 of the games are pretty much the same between regions. The others are exclusive, depending on if you get the Japanese or the Western one. And then there's the bonus games, which are the same between them, except a couple which are Japanese only because they're quiz games. But there's not overlap otherwise. Like, it's all like stuff that was not on the first mini. So the first mini had like 40 games, and it had 2 bonus games, I believe. It had they did a port of Sega Tetris, and they did a new port of Darius. This one is, there are, I think they promised 50 games, but with the bonus games and some stuff that's just kind of extra on there, you have over 60, and those are also a lot of like new ports So it's there's some cool stuff to kind of see. They did like a Fantasy Zone port. You know, it's got like secret codes and stuff in it and everything. Like really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Cannot rave about it enough. Very happy.
Yeah, I feel a bit like a jackass because when I heard they were making another one, I was like, ooh.
Yeah. Well, it's like they kind of there was a lot of interviews and stuff, and it was kind of like we knew that we weren't going to be able to like we did not have the budget or the time to do something grander. Like we were keeping the same hardware except we're adding a little bit of memory and a little bit of storage, like there because of the chip shortage, and they knew that they were only going to be able to make a certain amount of them, so they decided to kind of go full in on like the the Genesis Mega Drive fanboy angle, where they just kind of like put all the really cool stuff in there and just kind of tried to put as much of that crazy stuff as possible, and it's all over the place. There's some weird stuff on there.
And they made just enough for every Genesis fanboy to buy one.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Except One Up Muffin.
Except for One Up Muffin,
aka Jared.
I was gonna say, I don't think you're a Genesis fanboy.
No,
is the point of my joke.
Yeah. But like you can play the weird crappy FMV horror mansion game for the Sega CD on there. Like it's so weird. There's so much weird stuff on there.
I might play this Magical Taro-Kun game.
Yeah, give it a shot
on a regular emulator. It actually looks pretty fun. There was a tight looking boss fight.
Yeah, there's some neat bosses so far, and the game has a very particular sense of movement, so it's one of those games that you have to kind of get a feel for how the character moves and attacks, which is satisfying, I think. Because it's very weird. It's a weird game, and it's so cool that they were able to include stuff like that and like anime games and stuff on there. Some anime dodgeball game on there, I think. I haven't even gotten to that yet.
A lot. Yeah.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot to see. And if you get the JP one, like if it's still available, I'm not entirely sure.
I couldn't find it anywhere.
Well, if it does pop back up at some point for MSRP, it was cheaper for me to import the Japanese Mega Drive Mini 2 than to buy the US Genesis Mini 2. Wow. Like it was like $85 as opposed to like
I'll keep an eye out, and if I find it, I might grab it.
Yeah, it's super cool.
That's a general thing to bring up real quick. If you are a weeaboo, which statistically speaking, listening to this podcast, you probably are, the yen is down bad right now.
Yeah.
Next to almost every currency in the world.
Yeah, so it's a great time to buy a Hobonichi.
It is a great time to buy a Hobonichi. It's a great time to buy a figure that will embarrass your entire family at Christmas time.
Oh yeah, that's good.
You got like a month to get that Ryza figure that will make everybody in your family wonder.
That full-size Tifa.
What is wrong with you? I think that Tifa one is sold by an American company.
Oh,
that's not an official figure one.
I don't follow these things very in depth.
But yeah, that's not surprising to hear that it's like $15 cheaper. Yeah, that's it's a kind of that's to put it in stark contrast. The yen is so bad right now that even once you factor in shipping it from Japan to America, you saved $15.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. Like there's that. Like that's after shipping. It was still like.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like if there was ever a time you wanted to order something from Japan,
now is the time.
It's a good time to do it.
Do it now.
Support the yen.
Support the yen.
So,
what about
James? What did you bring to show and tell?
So after a couple months of owning it, but having extreme connection errors every time I would try to play it to the point that I didn't want to bother anymore, I have finally completely immersed myself in the ink.
Oh yes,
of
Splatoon 3.
Yes,
I see you guys playing sometime, but I'm like next time you're on, I'll join in. But I've
completely covered in the goo.
The new season just dropped. Yeah,
the new season dropped today. Like 4 hours ago.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So if you didn't get the ridiculous looking stack of glasses from getting level 100 on the last catalog, I don't know if it'll come back around. It probably will.
I have a suspicion that some of the stuff from the catalog of like the last catalog is kind of thrown into the shell machine. That's just a hunch that I have. I don't
Oh,
really know.
I guess that's a
I
possibility.
don't know if that's the case. I kind of feel like that would be a spot where they might dump some of that stuff, so like you could get it randomly, but I don't
I
know.
mean, my guess might be that once they finish, what did they announce? 8 seasons?
Yeah, I think they're doing it for what, for 2 years, and it's like every 3 months. So yeah, 8 seasons.
Maybe once that's over, it'll like rotate back around because I don't see a
Yeah,
Splatoon 4 coming out in 2 years.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
You never know.
yeah. It's true. It could rotate. I didn't even think about that.
uh, yeah, game's really good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
Now that
rules.
it works, I always figured it'd be pretty good, but like it's real demoralizing going into those Anarchy series and then like getting the 3 losses all from disconnects.
yeah,
And then just like because when you I was S in Tower Control and Rainmaker and S plus in Splat Zones, I think.
Mhm.
So that having that save data, it put me immediately into I think B plus
Oh,
or
okay.
maybe A minus. I don't remember what it was, but like having that save data, it like let me skip the real low rank.
Hmm.
Right.
But like and I get you can't D rank, so that wasn't a bad thing. But it's still like being in like 1,000 point deficit felt bad.
Yeah, yeah. I can
Because yeah,
imagine.
like you don't go down from A to B plus or whatever, A minus to
Yeah,
B plus. You just
yeah,
go to like you need to get to positive 1,000 to rank up, and you're down. And when you're down to like negative 1,000 because like you disconnected too many times in a
That's
row, it's like
dark.
I don't want to play this game. But I played the Splatfest that went by recently, and I
yes.
had very few disconnects, and I was like, oh, maybe this game will work now, and it works now, and it is hopelessly addicting.
I'm curious
Uh,
to see how because I know since you mentioned the Splatfest, they've changed how the Anarchy, or not the Anarchy, the
the tricolor.
tricolor. Yeah,
To me, the change is just kind of a like tacit admission that their intended purpose did not work.
yeah. I would agree.
Because they were supposed to be like a catch up mechanic
Yeah.
Yeah,
for the team that was down, or the teams that were down. Like the winning team would be the defending team, for the tricolor, I think, and then the
yeah,
other two teams that were not winning come halftime. You know, that'd be a way for them to bolster their score,
yeah,
to kind of even things out. But since this change where it's like you can queue for them now, I think.
yeah. And it will just put you, like, it'll come up with one for you, and I guess the results of those tricolors are like counted as part of their own category for Splatfest points.
Yeah, so just the
It's
whole
like,
like
yeah,
concept of why they were added in the first place seems like it's been thrown out the window. But I mean,
yeah. But I mean, if at
it's
least
one
if
of
it
the
makes it fun,
yeah. I think that's kind of what I come back to is like if they decided it doesn't work, it's probably better for them to get that out of the way early than
yeah, then to
keep
keep.
riding it out in this mode that like isn't really working the way they wanted it to, and people don't really
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah, I'm excited for they added those Salmon Run like playback codes where you can like have a custom scenario, or like if you play a scenario and
Oh
say
yeah, that
like
looked
you
cool.
lose, you can output it as a code and then like play it in private battles with a friend or whatever. So you can kind of like practice on like stuff that messes you up.
Did they add any new salmon run levels?
They added one from Splatoon 2.
Nice.
It was like the maroon ship, I think.
Mhm.
Well, and they have the salmon run like event coming up, right?
Yes.
Oh, I need to
Big
play that.
run.
I
Big
haven't played in
run.
a
Big
while.
run.
That starts December 9th, I believe.
So it's like the Splatfest of
Yeah.
salmon run, right?
Yeah, so they I believe it's Wahoo World that it's happening on this time, but the salmonid enemies invade like an actual battle map from the main game. So you fight them on like Wahoo World or wherever
Oh,
they.
that looks so cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wanna.
And I guess if you do well or if you participate, you get like a decoration. It looks like they're giving out like a little toy of the boss salmonid, the King Kohozuna. And if you do like really well, like you get a gold version of it or something. It says you get like special decorations for participating, so I like it. I'm down with it. That's what I'm looking forward to the most, because that's a very special thing and very different for Salmon Run to be able to be played on like normal maps.
I'll try to play some of this new update tomorrow, because like I was waiting for this to really get back into it.
I need to pick it up too.
I think that there's some interesting balance stuff they did.
Mm-hmm.
I know I got in on the meta of the first season really late, like maybe 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks before it ended. But I got up to S+ and ranked, and there are definitely problems with weapon balance to an extent, and they addressed some of them. Like Tentamissiles were annoying.
Oh, extremely annoying.
But they made it so now, like, instead of, you know how when you use a special in Splatoon, usually the bar just like depletes and then can start filling up again, like immediately. Now when you use Tentamissiles, the bar goes down slow. So
cool.
you can't like launch them and then immediately start farming up another Tentamissiles, because I was so goddamn sick of queuing into a game. And it's like, oh look, they've got a reflux.
And it's constant missile spam.
I know that motherfucker is not going to engage anybody in a fight. He's not going to do anything but stand in the far back in their base with his goddamn aim pointed at the ground, spamming ZR with his little dumb bow and arrows to spread ink around and then hit Tentamissiles. He's going to do it again. He's going to do it again. He's going to do it again. Splat zones is not a fun mode when you're having to constantly worry about Tentamissiles. But aside from that, the only other like thing in the game right now that is like I think considered super duper overpowered is the crab tank. But really? That is seeing like near 100% usage in tournament play.
Wow.
Interesting.
Some teams are running double Splash-O-Matic to have 2 crab tanks. And my personal take on that is less that it's a crab tank problem and more that it's a map problem.
Sure.
So many of the maps have like really tight corridors, and a lot of the maps don't have a lot of places that you can approach the objectives from. So a crab tank walling off one of the only ways you can get to the objective, because you can't kill one head on. If you try to attack a crab tank head on, you're dead.
You just die.
I think that's probably the problem more so than the crab tank. What I would like to see is a few more. I would like to see them address map. I would like to see them make map tweaks more than I would tweaks to the crab tank. Because I don't think the crab tank is inherently overpowered. I think that the current map design lends itself very well to the crab tank.
As a casual, I really don't like that hammer. I think it just goes on forever.
The stamper.
It feels like it just goes on like 5 seconds too long.
It's so funny because I look at that and I'm just like, I just hear the fucking Donkey Kong hammer music in my head when it's coming at me. And I'm like, oh no. And to me, it's they never catch me with the hammer. It's always the throw.
The hammer toss.
It's like when they finish the move and then all of a sudden the hammer's flying at my face. I'm like, no.
Did you try any of the new weapons out yet? I know there's like that new roller that has something or other.
So the roller sucks.
Okay.
The roller is a really bad weapon, and I'm not sure what they were thinking. First of all, it doesn't splat in one flick, and you can't roll over people. So it's like the carbon roller in that regard. But they also gave it splash wall. As its sub, and I don't even remember what its special is, but I mean, like,
is it ink? Was it the ink rain for its special? I don't even remember either.
As far as like viability goes, you can kind of stop it at having splash wall and it not one-shotting people. Because the best roller in the game is the Flingza, like without a doubt. Like, I just don't see any world where you pick anything other than the Flingza.
Yeah, I've never done well with the rollers.
I don't prefer them. I think
There's that.
personally, I think they're kind of lame. I think you should learn how to play a real weapon. But that's a thing that'll get me on scrub quotes.
True. True.
I just think they're boring to fight against and also boring to play.
Submitting that to scrub quotes right now.
Thank you.
But there were two others, right?
Yeah. Well.
But there's the ones that are returning, and then there's the 3 new ones. So that roller was one of the new ones.
I think so. Yeah, I think the Splattershot Nova has potential to be an interesting. The current Splatoon community seems to not be very hot on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's very much a support weapon. It has very bad accuracy, but it has good range, and it has a decent fire rate, but it also takes like 4 shots to kill. So you're never going to use it as a murder weapon. But most support weapons don't have that kind of range. And you can fire that motherfucker forever.
I was gonna say, is its ink usage like pretty?
It seems to have a very, very generous ink efficiency. So I think there might be, and it has point sensor and killer whale, which are both like really, really good for finding out where people are. Like killer whale is not necessarily a good murder weapon. It can get a kill, but it's more useful because it's like, oh, that's where that person is.
Right.
Like it can target people whether they're in ink or not. It's kind of like Tentamissiles in that way.
Right.
Tentamissiles is just more efficient at, killing.
Yeah.
And point sensor also tells you where people are. So it's like an information machine.
Yeah.
And it's good at putting ink on the ground, and it can do it from really far away. So I don't know. Most of the support weapons in the game are like the Splattershot Junior, which are more about like getting ink on the ground like around you. So we'll see. I think it might have a niche.
That sounds neat.
Maybe not at like super high levels or anything, but I think there are some people that will enjoy playing it. Now, the one thing I do really like, and I do not know what the like current communities take on it is I really like the Snipe Rider.
That's the one, the pencil, right?
Yeah, that's the pencil. I haven't used it in a actual match yet, because they put like my dream weapon in the game this patch, which is the Splattershot, but with a regular bomb instead of a suction bomb.
Oh, right.
That's cool.
Which is what I've been playing. Like the couple hours I played tonight, I played with that.
Oh.
But the Snipe Rider is a charger. It's not a scoped charger. It's one of the more short range chargers, kind of like the Squiffer or the Goo Tuber.
Yeah.
Also, I love Splatoon.
Weapon names are so good.
Like Squiffer and Goo Tuber sound like some like real nasty pornos.
That they're used in that and the Splatoon world too.
But also I really like that they can continue to surprise me with the way they like get art or like art supplies into the game.
Yeah.
Like the Crash Blaster has crayons in it. And
and there's that what do you call it? The ballpoint pen
the ballpoint pen splatling
Gatling gun, yeah.
This one is a pencil, a colored pencil. And like I said, it's not scoped. I think it has about the range of the Squiffer and the Goo Tuber. I'm not good enough to know that. But what's neat about it is you charge it, and then it has 5 shots. When you let go of the charge, it'll fire one. But then you can click 4 more times to shoot 4 more shots.
Oh, see, that would be a charger that I would like to play because I suck at chargers. I
Oh,
feel like
that's
a charger
cool.
for people who suck at charger.
So, yeah, to me, now the caveat is you can't go into the ink. The ink will reset it
Right.
if you go into squid form.
Yeah, that makes
Right.
sense.
But you can move, you can walk.
Mhm.
I'm not the hugest fan of the kit because I think it has sprinkler and tacticooler,
Oh, yeah.
which actually I think tacticooler is probably pretty good for it because it might be able to let you one shot with it.
Mhm.
Like right now, it takes 2 shots to kill with it.
Mm-hmm.
Sprinkler is just kind of a weak weapon for competitive play.
Yeah.
Most of the time, 99% of the time, you want a weapon with a bomb on it of some
Yeah.
variety.
Yeah.
But I think it has its uses. Because I think it's a cool idea. I think it completely like invalidates the bamboozler,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of a shame because I think the bamboozler is a funny weapon.
That's the one that I've played a little bit with just because of Salmon Run. That was like the charger. I'm not really a charger person, but the time that I've played with the Bamboozler, I didn't hate my life entirely. So
Yeah, you might want to get. You should give the GooTuber a shot.
yeah, I
if,
hear it's not bad too. Yeah, I think
Oh.
Ness plays GooTuber or did at some point.
That's gross. It's a cool, but the GooTuber's a cool weapon. It has a cool kit. It has the torpedo,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it has tentamissiles.
Oh boy.
The cool thing about the GooTuber is, so with the torpedo, do you know how the torpedo works?
I've only seen it a little bit, so not really.
So if you throw it in the air while you're looking at somebody,
Mhm.
it'll go up in the air and then it will like home in on them.
Ooh.
But if you throw it at the ground, it'll just roll and pop.
Right.
So what you can do is you can set up these nasty little combos where you just kind of roll the torpedo at a dude and then like barely charge a shot up and then just pop that person.
That's
It's
great.
a very fun little combo you can do to like win fights at short range that most other chargers just can't handle.
Right.
And I think the snipe rider will probably be able to handle similar fights.
Yeah.
That other it feels less like a sniper rifle and more like a rifle in a first person shooter,
Yeah.
like a single shot, or like a semi-automatic.
Right. That sounds actually kind of neat.
Which I think
I like when they do weapons that kind of like bend the rules a little bit of their categories.
Yeah, well, I mean, that seemed to stop a little bit more with Splatoon 2, right? Like,
Yeah.
they with Splatoon 1, they kind of got wacky, with a lot of their, like the brushes are very clearly a roller variant, but they play very differently.
Right.
Yeah, I don't remember Splatoon 2. Splatoon 2, I remember having a lot of, like similar weapons.
Yeah,
Like
honestly, like there's so many that like my brain kind of just starts melting because then you have those ones that are like basically the same weapon but with a different kit, and then that's when my brain stops like processing what what is going on with the different weapons.
So yeah, going through the other weapons they added real quick, the ones that I think are relevant. I don't think that the Lunar Blaster Neo is going to be any better. It might be a little better than the current Luna Blaster, but it has fizzy bombs and ultra stamp.
I hate the Lunar Blasters.
You're not gonna beat out the regular blaster. The base blaster in this game has like bubbler, big bubbler, and bombs.
Yeah,
like the kit's hard to beat. The Zinc Mini Splatling has big bubbler and toxic mist. There's uses for that. It might be cool. We'll see. The Ink Brush Nouveau has Ink Mine and Ultra Stamp. I don't think you're going to see people use that instead of the regular ink brush.
Yeah.
Because the regular ink brush has, I'm pretty sure, Bomb and Killer Whale, which is the better kit.
Right.
What I do think is going to be used a lot is the new Splattershot Pro, because it has suction bombs and the Booyah Bomb special.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah,
pretty good.
Yeah,
Booyah, that's really nice.
What does the regular splatter shot have? I forget.
Line, whatever. I forget what it's called. The really bad sub weapon.
Oh, the one that like bounces off walls.
Yeah, nobody likes that.
I hate that weapon.
Line marker. Now, what I will say is they buffed line marker in this.
Oh, that's good. It needed it.
I don't know if it's going to make make enough of a difference to make it good, but you remember how you threw it and it was pretty slow?
Yeah.
It's instant now.
Okay.
Oh, you throw it at a person and it hits them. Period. Like it is so fast, it's ridiculous. So we'll see if that makes a difference for anybody. I don't know if it will at lower levels or not, but it's definitely a noticeable change.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's nice.
But yeah, I think Splatoon 3 pretty good.
Yeah, I'm excited to dive into the update.
Yeah, I am too. I need to get around to that.
I was really into the multiplayer for a while, and then other stuff came out, and I fell off as I usually do.
I need to dive into the golf update too for Switch Sports.
I played a round of it. It's golf.
Yeah, I mean, I know.
One other.
Oh yeah.
One other note I wanted to make that I think is cool about the Splatoon 3 update: the weapons that the new kits for existing weapons. They didn't just like the old Tenatech splatter shot. They like slapped a sticker on the splatter shot and called it a day.
Right.
The new Tentatech is like a totally different color than the regular splatter shot. It still has the Tenatech logo on it, but it doesn't look identical with a sticker.
That's
base color.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Forged Pro. Like they look different.
Is there a new Aerospray yet or no?
Yeah, they did add the gold Aerospray. I forget what they gave it though.
Is it better? Because the kit for the Aerospray was not very good in this one.
Yeah, it actually has. I mean, it's a good kit for inking for sure. It has Sprinkler and Booyah Bomb.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
That's almost what it had in Splatoon 1, the golden Aerospray.
Yeah.
I think it had Sprinkler and Ink Strike in Splatoon 1, which is why it was like the best thing for putting ink on the ground.
Well, last question. Do the new weapons have level gates?
I don't know. Maybe.
Like the whole freshness thing?
I'm not max level. I'm only level like 20 something.
That level gate.
But I think they were all available and they were all one ticket. So
okay.
That's good to know. Yeah, it'll be fun to kind of boost up the freshness thing on those too.
I have one. We'll talk about this more in another episode. But I'm the first one of us to get the new Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
I got Violet. I've been liking it a lot so far. I'm only like a couple hours in. But I'm sure we'll do an episode in probably about a month or so. Give us time to play it for the people that are going to play it.
Yeah.
I'm liking it so far.
I just bought it today, and I didn't play it yet.
Did you get Violet or Scarlet?
I got Scarlet because of the Paradox Pokemon are fucking way cooler. The past versions versus the future versions. I didn't know this existed until the other day. But yeah, I got Scarlet for that reason alone.
Yeah, I got Violet because I like the motorcycle better. But
I guess one other small thing real quick that I've really been enjoying, and it took me forever to play this game, and now I've been playing it with friends, and I adore it, is Golf with Friends.
Yeah.
I finally started playing that, and that game is addictive. I just wish it had more default courses, I guess, but that level
there's a lot in there now. There's aren't there?
I don't know. Maybe I just
there was like 10 or so courses now.
Yeah. The only reason I say like I wish there were more is because of how fast that game is. You just go through those courses so quickly. The level editor seems insane. I have to download some and try. I know some will just be like, crap, like impossible to get this in the fucking hole. But I've been playing it online with friends recently, and it is such a riot, and it reminds me a little bit of like Marble Blast Ultra, not like too much, but like the look of it,
Yeah,
kind
I
of.
feel it. Yeah.
And it's just it's a simple ass game. I know it's on everything now. I don't think cross play is implemented at this time, but really, really like enjoying that. I've been playing a
Really
couple
fun
games
game.
on PC recently for a change, including Dead by Daylight, but I don't.
Oh, you're a PC gamer now. Nice.
No,
Have you considered getting a Steam Deck?
No, I might win one at the Game Awards.
Actually, I'm gonna win one at the Game Awards. So
I still don't really get Dead by Daylight, and I'm very bad at it, and I don't play it that often. But it's been an interesting experience. But golf with friends has been like, you know, the tits, as they would say.
Dead by
Not me,
Daylight
though.
does not seem like Clay Core game.
It's not a Clay Core game. No.
not at all.
I got it. I
think
on
that game
sale.
is bad.
I got it on sale because some friends were like really into it and they play together a lot. So like I've been playing with them a little bit, and it's like, I guess real quick, I never can find generators on the map. I don't understand where anything is. I never can find the exit on the map when that comes up. I just like everything about it is so like weird and not my thing. Everything is super dark, which I guess is the point, but it's like really annoying to me.
Yeah, I find it not fun at all.
Yeah,
like maybe the opposite of fun.
Yeah, that's like me and DK64, the opposite of fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to get up early tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we're going to wish you guys a Nintendo-rific week, as we always do.
Ugh.
I don't think I've
Wahoo
ever done
into
that.
a good morning. What did you say, James?
I don't think I've ever wished anybody a Nintendo-rific anything.
I haven't. I definitely haven't. I know.
And
I know.
I don't.
One up's a different breed.
Well, I hope all of you backwards long jump into a productive week. And
on that note, let's go.
Triple jump into a good future.
Don't stumble into a wild panda. I got nothing.
Yeah, or your fighting game tournament got get canceled, right?
Yeah.
All right. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.